Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And I just thought I'd take some time to share with you some of the things that have been happening in my world in the last week and a bit. A few things photographically that I've enjoyed. And here we go. I'll start with the most recent one. Last Saturday, I did some family photos. And for a family, though some of the grown-up kids came from interstate with a couple of toddlers, and there was another couple here with a new baby. And the dad of the family is not very well, and so his wife wanted to organise and have some family photos while it's still possible to do something like that. And so we went to a nursing home, some gardens there, and took some family photos. And it was an enjoyable day. But when you do that sort of thing, you need to know what you're doing to a certain extent to make it reasonably successful. When you're shooting in open air, which is what we were doing in some gardens there, and you've got little kids involved, how do you engage people? How do you get some decent shots? One of the things the wife asked me of this gentleman was, what sort of things should they wear? And I said, oh, I don't know really. Whatever suits you. Maybe something that you associate with your husband. And she said he always wears flannel hats. So she decided they would all end up bringing some flannel hats, and we'll have a shot with everyone with Dad in the middle with flannel hats on. And we did that at the end of the shoot. But at the start of the shoot, I wasn't sure that that was just going to happen. So I just explain, when you go on these sort of shoots, when you do this in weddings or otherwise, there's lots of little kids involved, flower girls or page boys or just relatives of the bride and groom, and you want to try and get photos of them. And I always say to people, well, just let them be themselves, and we'll take some shots along the way, some candid shots. They may or may not join in. But there are different techniques that I've developed over the years of trying to engage little kids, and one of them is to get them to think that they're helping me. And at this particular shoot, the youngest one, I don't know whether I said that already, the youngest one definitely didn't want to have anything to do with me. And when I asked about taking a photo, no, quite definite no, and walked off, ran off. And so it was getting a bit anxious as to what was going to happen. So I said to the dad of the toddlers, I said, well, look, I've got a couple of tricks that might work. So I had some cameras in my bag, and similar to these. They weren't these actual ones, but the cameras that I've been doing some YouTube reviews on just recently, upmarket digital compact point and shoot cameras. I had them in the bag because I thought this might happen. So I got them out and asked these little kids, particularly the youngest one, do you want to have a go at doing this and help me take some photos? And he looked at it and I showed him how to use it, and then he was on board. And then the other little boy, he said, have you got one for me? I said, yeah, I have. So the two of them got right into it. And away they went, and they ended up taking more photos than what I did, which was quite interesting, and not like my photos, but they are a record of the event as they saw it. So that was really good, and because of that, we were able to be a lot more at ease taking other photos under the big tree and also in the little pergola that I picked out later on to have some shots in, and all the shots came out, particularly the ones under the pergola, were really good. But the other ones were all a good candid record of a fun day, although not everyone was feeling 100%, but but it was a warm day, but we had a bit of fun. Only were there for about an hour and a half, I suppose I was there. So I'm going to put some shots that they took of me. For privacy reasons, I won't show shots that they took, and you can get some idea of what they were doing. I'm going to also show you some photos that I took on a family shoot some years back with these three girls, and they're all probably almost pretty grown up now. And I got them engaged by, I had some old 35mm antique film cameras with me, and they played around with those, and I'll show you some beautiful shots I got with those kids. I've got permission to use them on here, so you'll be able to see them as well. So where am I up to now? So that was the photo shoot, and then on the Friday was when I was doing this, helping my friend give a talk to the Probus Club. And that was all about Probus Club at Marino, it was, in South Australia. And that was all about what his dad was doing in the wartime. He was a pilot, a bomber pilot, and also he was a distinguished cricketer who played in the uh, unofficial victory tests against England. They had a Australian Services cricket team, only 2 first-class players in that team, but they played the actual English test team back then, straight after the Second World War, and they played 5 test matches on the test match grounds, and Australia won 2 and England won 2, and the other one was drawn, and they really held their way very well. They've never been allocated, never been recognised as official tests, because it would have been great if those guys were recognised and were given a baggy green, which they all want to get hold of these days. So I'll show you a little bit of that, how that went. I had a PowerPoint made, and we've done this talk before a couple of times, and there are interviews I've done with Greg on my channel, which you can look up and see about his, if you just type in Ross Stanford on my YouTube channel, you'll probably see something come up about that. But I'll show you some photos, maybe a little bit of video that I took on the day while he was giving his talk. And then the other thing was, a week earlier than that, I was out with my Parkinsons Photography group, who is a group of people who have Parkinson's disease but like photography, and I've been involved with them for about 8 years. Unfortunately, because of that disease, we are getting less and less in numbers, but we had a positive meeting the other day, and we've got some new people on board, and we're looking at strategies to try and build our group up again, because we're sure there are lots of people out there with Parkinson's disease but would really love to come along and join our group and learn about photography, do some photography. They don't have to be well beaters, but we have what we call camaraderie. It's a pun in that group. So that was a really good day out too. So there are things, if you look in Parkinson's disease on my YouTube channel, you might find videos I've done about that as well. So thanks for watching. I'm going to put some pictures of these girls with the old vintage cameras and some photos that these little kids took of me, just at 1 or 2 on the photo shoot on Saturday, and some photos of Greg. I'll put captions on some of the shots, or I might speak to them. So thanks for watching. Like if you like, subscribe if you wish, and I'll see you next time. So these are just a couple of shots that the little tackers took of me on the day with their point and shoots. I love that one. And these are the 3 girls that I was talking about. Now notice the lighting. There's a polystyrene foam board to their right, and then on the left of where they are, there's an open door, so there's light coming in. They're getting light coming in, which is reflecting off the board on the end there to naturally give natural light for those shots. So there you go. That was all quite interesting, and always works well if you've got some cameras that you can share with these kids. And now we're coming up to Greg giving a talk to his Probus club. Here he is in full flight. This is Greg wearing his dad's medals and his dad's hat, and that's a photo of his dad. That was the start of our PowerPoint display. Perhaps I'll put a link underneath to some of these the talks, the interviews I've done with Greg about his dad. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.